So this is a quick tour of London Road in Sheffield. You can see the Manpower Commission building, built in the 1970s. Basically blocked off this side of Sheffield to the other side, and then they pedestrianised the Moor area. So I'm going to have a walk down there and see how the London Road's changed since the early 80s. See what you reckon. You can see all the towers around here now. So different. I can't say a lot about London Road because other than driving up and down it, it's not a place I shopped. It's a real shame that you can't actually video record smells, because that might tell a whole different story. I would say they're old office blocks that have been had new cladding added onto them. So have you been down here then, Mark, before?
No, not really, just drove down.
So I'm with Mark Bannerman today. Mark's got a really interesting channel, which most people probably know about. I think is that the England women's footballer who comes from Sheffield? I don't know. But it's certainly very different shops to what I remember down here back in the 80s. Because I remember coming down here for things to do with a house.
I think that roof's hot.
think Bardwell's was down here, and I remember there being a computer shop as well of some kind. But we'll catch the other side of London Road as I come back up.
In 30 years' time, how do you expect this to change?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering, Mark, because you mentioned that these videos aren't that important at this moment in time, are they?
They'll have more interest in, perhaps, for people who used to live here and in the future to look back on.
That's right, yeah. So I think one of the things is with some of my videos, some people are not as able to walk around as they used to be. So when I do videos of areas, they get a chance to reminisce about the areas they came from.
Yeah, and people who live in this area, like you just said, they can't always get out, and they won't even know that some of these places have changed, and they're actually living right in the middle of it because they can't get out of their own for some reason.
Yeah, I always thought London Road was like a place where you bought furniture from and antiques and stuff like that, but it's certainly not like that anymore.
There's certainly plenty of antique buildings, I think.
Yeah. So what's your next video then, Mark?
Probably the Palestine rally that I missed this Saturday. It's 28th of October today, ain't it?
28th, yeah.
Where a guy in a push bike rode past, saw some police officers following him at quick speed, who then pulled him up. They let him go eventually. Then about 10 officers turned up and arrested him, took his bike off him. Allegedly there's some kind of sign been taken off him previously, and the allegation is a public order offence, section 5. So I'll get that video online as soon as I can.
Yeah, it's a bit disturbing, some of these new laws coming in, where the police can interpret things how they want if they want to arrest somebody now. They can be a bit too overcautious. You can see the 20 mile per hour creeping everywhere. I don't think we really need to be told to drive at 20 miles per hour where kids may be, but the council now seem to think we need to, eh?
I'll bring you back to make sure that
One thing I've noticed along here, Mark, there's not that much litter.
Unlike some areas.
That's right. If I went, like I've got a video to upload of Staniford Road, and it's quite shocking the amount of litter.
Do you think the MPs take it serious when you put in a kind of complaint about the litter?
No, I don't think the MPs will be bothered at all, to tell you the truth. I've been really shocked that my email to the Chief Executive of Sheffield, the leader of Sheffield Council, Clyde Betts, the MP for South East constituency of Sheffield, and the three local councillors, I doubt they'll be that bothered that I've brought the issue up. My dentist everywhere, and even my local MP's office mentioned about all the dentists being took over by large corporate organisations.
How far does London Road go?
I think it's just round the corner. I think it moves on to something else then, I hope.
Oh, Aberdale. Is it Aberdale Road?
Yeah, I think it cuts off somewhere around here. So, was that an old bank at some stage? You can see how grand the road once would have been. Do you think it's a bit studenty around here as well, Mark, or is it just the way people are now?
Maybe it's Oil of Ewley, they all look young.
Fun?
Oil of Ewley, they all look young. I'm 83 and I use Oil of Ewley. I only look about 50.
I think the difference probably is, Mark, we all dress a lot younger nowadays.
True. Is this the start of Sharrow? These toilets I find interesting.
Yeah. I think you've had a look in these before, haven't you, Mark?
I think someone advised me not to go in for health and safety.
Well, very safe. You expect to see syringes or something like that hanging around in these places. Now, there is an interesting building up here, Highfield Library, and for any Sheffield Wednesday supporters out there, Bramall Lane is so important in the creation of the football club. We had about 5 grounds around Bramall Lane, played at Bramall Lane, and also had a football ground at Olive Grove, but one of the football grounds was next to Highfield Library, I think. So to me this is an important part of the creation of Sheffield Wednesday Football Club. So I wasn't quite 100% sure about that.
So that sign on that one is Aberdale Road.
Yeah.
So to the left, still London Road to the left.
That's right, it just looks as though London Road's the minor road, and I always thought London Road was the most important road. So somebody will tell me what that pub once was. So we're passing some churches on the left hand side, and what I'm going to do is film it in the reverse direction coming by. Have you seen that up there, Mark? Top of that like turret.
Is that a mosque?
Well, this is what I'm wondering, because you've got the mosque behind, which you can see the big tower on the mosque, but we've got a smaller one here on this building.
I did hear somewhere that if you register your home as a place of worship, public place of worship, and the council find it suitable for the numbers, obviously for a house it has to be a small number of people following the religion, that they're exempt from council tax if you live in it as well.
I think only that room, I think only the room. I could be wrong.
Well, I do believe that if it's open to the public and it's got living quarters, just like the Catholic churches, they can be council tax exempt. But it all depends on the criteria.
Ah.
And that information is available online. You apply to the council, you pay a small fee, and depending on the suitability of your congregation, they will grant council tax exemption for a place of worship open to the public.
Yeah, well, this looks like a mosque, a small mosque, doesn't it? Because you can see the crescent on the top.
Speaking of religions, I do believe there are many religions out there that many people don't believe in. And one of them, for example, would be Jediism. I do believe that's been classed as a religion. I could be wrong, but I'm sure your viewers would say.
I think people were actually putting it down on the last census, weren't they? That's where it was coming from. I mean, I've always, on my census now, I put, even though I prefer a Christian country, if we're going to have any religion at all, I put spiritual on my census form now. But I think you could, when so many people put a certain thing, they then create it, don't they, as a religion. That's why spirituality is down now as one, because so many people said that's what they were.
I find Scientology a very interesting religion, because L. Ron Hubbard is a failed scientist. I think it's what they call it, science fiction writer. But it's interesting how he then had a religion with a god named Lord Xenu. Xenu. And not a lot of people will know this. Last I heard, what's that guy called from Top Gun? Tom Cruise. Scientology is a religion of Tom Cruise, unless he's changed it, or he's become an SP, a suppressed person.
Yeah, it was. There was some sort of controversy, wasn't there, around him with the religion, or was it just the religion itself that there was a controversy? Shall we just have a quick nip up here, Mark, and just have a deco at this, because most people's probably not even seen this mosque. Now, I've watched a few Bond films in the past, especially 1960 ones, and some of the mosques that you saw in places like Turkey actually look really beautiful buildings. And I think people can make their own judgment whether they think that's a beautiful building that adds to Sheffield or not. So that's just on Queen's Road down there, but look at the beauty of that building. And what I was discussing with Mark is, how have we forgotten the technique to build these buildings in such a short period of time? And couldn't we actually get these buildings by actually casting things now, using a really strong sort of concrete that doesn't deteriorate, and actually casting buildings so we can have some beauty in the buildings?
Just not aerated concrete, because that's like aero, isn't it?
Yeah. Alright, so that's a different angle on.
Just looking at that mosque there, in my humble opinion, I think that white building spoils the view of that mosque. I do think it's a pretty building. In fact, to be honest, I think it's a bit too posh for the area, looking at it. It seems out of place. There's a sign, London Rd there.
Yeah. One thing I've noticed, Mark, is the lack of people. Nobody on the streets, is there?
Nobody walking. Yeah, it's interesting. I think they're actually doing some major roadworks here to try and get the flow of traffic easier. And I guess they'll maybe try and expand the clean air zone cameras to a wider area, like they did in London.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. This is what I keep saying to people, Mark, is what about your mate's business who's affected by it? What about the destruction of the town centre, and they're coming for you next? Oh yeah.
So that's closed from 21st of September till summer 2023. We're past summer. A bit behind, aren't they?
They are, aren't they? I mean, I noticed it so much in 2003, Mark, because I went to America, and I seem to be the only person walking around. I know I ain't got a car over there, but I think people at times were just looking astounded that I'm actually out walking.
Well, that's two people. Haven't seen any people for a long time walking along here.
No, but what I've noticed is there's not many open shops along here.
Oh, City Electrical Factors. I used to visit those shops and buy some electrical goods for my boss. Time when he had a job.
You mean you had a real job?
When I had a real job.
Yeah. I don't think a lot of us had a real job for a long time, Mark. I think that's the way of the world now. You sort of have to make an income out of what is available now, don't you?
Yeah.
I think we're coming to the River Sheep now. I had to laugh last week, Mark, because we did that walk down Little London Road, didn't we? And this was part of the River Sheep, if I'm right, for Little London Road. And they were building all the new houses along it. And then last weekend, you could see the river running down the road.
It was that high, was it then?
Yeah.
Train going over a bridge.
Yeah. So we have got an old station here by the looks of it, on London Road. So it's not been used for a very long time by the looks of it. But I'm guessing this is Midland Line, isn't it, Mark?
In the future, these will become obsolete. So that would be a good reference for the future.
You mean like the red telephone boxes, Mark?
Yeah, it's interesting. There's a bit of red on that, isn't there? Try and mimic the old London telephone boxes.
Well, we used to have loads of these around the GPO, the main post office in Sheffield, and people probably don't remember the days when a lot of people didn't have telephones at home, and they had to go to a phone box to make a phone call. I mean, do you remember the shared telephone lines, Mark?
Shared telephone lines?
You had one telephone line between two houses.
No, I don't remember those.
Yeah, that were in the 60s, and you had to make sure the other person wasn't on the line before you made a phone call. There's certainly not a shortage of money with Ponsford, Mark, because this looks a big new extension on Ponsford.
That's had some money spent on that, hasn't it? I do like the bridge over the top.
Yeah, I can't remember what was here before, whether it was like over there and they've just modernised it or what.
What's actually up there? Is it an extension of the shop, do you think?
Yeah, they walk across from there, from one to the other.
Right, I'm going to have a look inside actually. It's a whole past in your car, it's going across it.
I'll just do a long sweep up there and then at least I've captured it. So I've got right at the bottom of, well, as far as I'm going on London Road. I just want to sweep down there and show you that section. You can see Lidl up there on the right and B&M. But this little area is absolutely steeped in history. The Crowning. Got Saxon Road down here.
We've done a video on this one, haven't we, already?
Yeah, we've done Little London Road in past, haven't we, Mark? People probably forgot the wards that we used to have brewed in Sheffield. Got the Red Lion pub. So sweeping back along here, you can see the White Lion and Ponsford. But it's just so interesting around here with the old back streets, and you can get a bit of an appreciation how the back-to-back houses were. And they don't look as bad as people make them out to be. Walking back along London Road back into town, I don't know if that was an old pub there. It's so interesting, the streets around here. That's Gleedless Road up there. Got the River Sheaf here. I don't know whether they've had a bit of a disturbance with all that rain we had last week.
Shopping trolley there.
Yeah, it looks, I don't know if that's just builder's rubble from the past or not. So we have still got little jewellers here on London Road. This has just come down just as I was going to film it, but never mind.
It'd be interesting to see how busy they are as a shop.
Yeah, Mark was just going to pop in and ask them how busy they were, but what I just want to do is just show you the number of shutters down here. I don't know if it's because it's a Saturday or whether it's normally like that. I'll just quickly zoom back to there. Would have been once a bank on Sark Street. You can see some shops do really well, Ponsford, because it's high quality furniture and people want to check out high quality furniture before they buy it. But it looks like some of these shops are actually been shut for a long time. Just more shuttered shops. Such a sad shame. I think I've seen a 1900 video of the trams coming down this bit of road. They come straight up London Road, but I think they also went to the right to go down Queen's Road as well. And you can see Queen's Road down there. So there you can see Healy Branch Savings Bank. It's now an antiques place of some kind or whatever. There you can see different types of shops around here now. So I saw exactly this same school, because it says Sheffield School Board in Darnell this week. Looks exactly the same building. We're in different parts of Sheffield, and I found that strange. Sheffield School Board, I don't know what that meant. So I'll just video this a little bit, give you a flavour for it. But I always saw London Road as being quite an upmarket place in the past. I thought it was. Probably my memory's deceived. But I think there's so many shuttered down shops now.
I mean, it's only 4:10 in the afternoon of Saturday.
Yeah, you would think that they'd be open on a Saturday and shut in the middle of the week, wouldn't you? Unless
these businesses have actually shut down for good because of the high council tax charges, business tax rates.
My understanding, I think, in Rotherham is that you don't pay for smaller businesses. I could be wrong with council tax. If they're not earning more than a certain amount of money.
That would make sense, a bit like domestic rates.
Yeah.
If you haven't got a job, you haven't got an income, then they subsidise it with the government funded council tax payments.
Yeah, but so many. Oh, that's actually open, but then that one's shut. So there was once, yeah, it looks like it's all shut now. So this has gone as well.
So we got house to let. We've got shops to let.
Sad really, I mean we all order online but we're all guilty of causing this problem.
Just looking at the gated off house. You think they feel secure there and safe?
So that's another church which says St Barnabas House on it now. So I don't know if it's got another purpose. Two very grand churches. within a throwing distance of each other. So there's Highfield Library again, and like I said, there must have been a football ground behind there for Sheffield Wednesday at some stage. So somebody, I think, asked me to video Sharrow today, so I didn't know the area of Sharrow where it was, but I can see a sign there for Sharrow. I remember many years ago buying windsurfing equipment from down this road. So that's Ross's Italian restaurant, or was Ross's Italian restaurant. Are you talking about the Turkish barber shops,
yeah,
Mark?
Yeah, down bottom here and pass them up there.
I really wish I'd got a time travelling machine to have shown you these shops in the heyday. As you can see, another dead shop on this side. Yeah, so Mark Bannerman's just pointed out we've got Way On here and then American Sweep Shop next door. So we're now getting to a famous pub, the Cremone. If remember, serves me rightly, this was a big Sheffield United pub. It's got to be near Bramall Lane. Certainly a bit more footfall around here, Mark. Mother Hubbard's.
Is that a chip shop?
The name rings a bell. It's like one of these that you find in different places, isn't it? It does say hello Sheffield, so
Fish and chips.
yeah, it looks like a good fish and chip shop, that, doesn't it? There's an awful lot of food shops down here, Mark.
Making me hungry.
Fancied the fish and chips from Mar Hubbard's.
لسه ما نستحمل.
The old Crown Inn. But there's certainly a lot of hairdressers down here.
New construction work.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I missed that, Mark. I thought I'd got wrong side, but because I remember it being on the way up and not doing that side. But I'm pretty certain round here I was buying windsurfing equipment back in 1987. Do you think this is more student flats, Mark?
Possibly, yeah. I do believe Sheffield's investing in China.
Or China's investing in Sheffield.
Yeah, that's probably the right way.
Yeah, egg or the chicken, isn't it? Yeah. It's quite some development, that.
Quite interesting how they get the crane in the middle of the building and then at the top somehow they get it back out.
Yeah. Somebody did a lot of Lego when they were a kid, didn't they?
Yeah.
What are you filming, bro?
So we've just had an interesting conversation with a lad from Kurdistan, and he's saying our government and our police are far better than in his own country. But I think it's what you're used to. We disagree. We think our government aren't very good, and our police, well, I don't believe the police are protecting victims of crime enough.
What I found from an interesting point from that was that he actually said you can actually pay the police off in Kurdistan.
Yeah, I was going to ask him that question, Mark, but I thought I was being a bit
He
rude.
He did actually say that's the difference between the police in Kurdistan. In his opinion, because he's from Kurdistan, he's witnessed the fact that you can actually pay the police off in Kurdistan. Some might arguably say the same for Britain. Controversial as it is.
You could say it controversially, you don't know. I mean, back in the 1970s, there was some real issues in Soho in London where the Met were doing things they should not have been doing, and they were in the hands of the gangsters, and it's sort of coming back around again from what I'm seeing.
It's a surprise as well how some things in the Met haven't changed from the 1970s.
Yeah.
People still doing what they thought they could do in the 70s.
Yeah. So here we have the old Locarno dance hall. You've only got the doorway entrance, which is absolutely beautiful, but where you see all the offices behind used to be a fantastic dance hall. So anybody knocking around in the 60s and probably 70s or early 70s would remember going in the Locarno. Problem is we're filming down an area with lots of food places. You do get hungry. So there's a view on the Locarno dance. So just imagine if you look at that as the shape, the old building behind, new building behind it, the dance hall was some considerable size. So really that's the London Road tour over and out, done with. Coming back towards the Manpower Commission building. You might want to catch up with Mark Bannerman on his channel. if you're not already subscribed. But this is a record of history. May not be so important at the moment in time, but come the future when people want to look back and see how places were, you'll be able to come to these videos.